Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Meetinghouse of Provincetown, where we affirm the inherent worthiness and dignity of every person, and where we support each other on our spiritual search for truth and meaning. My name is Rev Kate Wilkinson, and I am so glad that you have joined us this morning. Welcome to those of you in the room, and welcome also to those of you joining us via our live stream. Before we begin our worship service, I have just a few announcements to share. If you are a member of our UUMH Sunday Safety Team, don't forget that we have a training today after coffee hour. We will begin the training here in the sanctuary and finish up downstairs in Acker Bosworth Hall. And thank you so much for the important role that you all play here every week. We hope that everyone will mark their calendar for Sunday, June 1st, which is the date of our fabulous pancake breakfast. Yes. Soon we'll be asking for volunteers for that, so do watch your inboxes. At coffee hour today, we hope you'll stop by our UUMH action table. Each week we are offering an action that you can take to support our Unitarian Universalist values in the world. This might be by writing a thank you note or signing a petition, by making a donation or calling a senator. Just one thing we can do a week to make us feel less hopeless and more powerful. This morning's action is to write postcards to voters in Ohio, asking them to call their senator to demand support for Medicaid. The Medicaid program serves the most vulnerable people in our communities, and our faith calls us to use our power to stand up for those who are at the most risk. Packets of postcards, stamps, scripts, and addresses can be found at the action table downstairs during coffee hour. If you have ideas for our action table, we'd love your help. If enough of us take turns putting an action together, we could just each lead it once a year. How easy would that be? Finally, if you are here in person today, we hope you will join us downstairs after the worship service ends for coffee and conversation. We also have some juice and snacks for the kiddos. Let's take a moment now to affirm our Meetinghouse covenant. You can find this printed on the purple laminated cards in your pews, but I'm going to say it line by line, and you can just repeat each line back to me. Love is the spirit of this Meetinghouse.
Love is the spirit of this Meetinghouse.
This is our great covenant.
This is our great covenant.
To dwell together in peace.
To dwell together in peace.
To seek the truth in love.
To seek the truth in love.
And to help one another. Now, as we light our chalice here in the sanctuary, I invite those of you watching from home to light a candle wherever you are. In this way, we can feel connected even while we are apart. This morning, I invite our worship host, Bonnie and Lawrence, to light our chalice for us.
Enough. These few words are enough. If not these words, this breath, if not this breath, this sitting here, this opening to the life we have refused again and again, until now, until now.
Thank you. Won't you please join me now in singing our opening hymn, number 128, in our gray hymnals, For All That Is Our Life. That's number 128 in your gray hymnals, For All That Is Our Life. Please rise as you are able.
To
You may be seated. I invite you to join me now in a spirit of prayer. During the prayer or at any time during the service, you are invited to light a silent candle at the table to the right of the pulpit, where there is a journal to record your thoughts and prayers. After the prayer, we will sing together Spirit of Life, hymn number 123 in the gray hymnals. You can also find the words to this song printed on the purple laminated cards in your pews. We'll sing first in English and then in Spanish. Our prayer this morning is by my friend and colleague, Vanessa Southern. So much undone, so much to do, so much to heal in us and the world, so much to acquire: a meal, a healthy body, a fit one, a lover, a job, a better job, proof we have and are enough, just around the corner of now. And up against it, the reality of all that falls short and the limits of today. We honor the limits. If your body won't do what it used to, for right now, let it be enough. If your mind won't stop racing or can't think of the word, let it be enough. If you are here, utterly alone and in despair, be all that here with us. When the offering plate goes around, if you don't have money to give or the heart to give, let it pass. The world won't stop spinning on her axis if you don't rise to all occasions today. Love won't cease to flow in your direction. Your heart won't stop beating. All hope won't be lost. You are part of the plan for this world's salvation. Of that I have no doubt. The world needs its oceans of people striving to be good, to carry us to the shores of hope and wash fear from the beachheads and cleanse all wounds so they can heal. But oceans are big, and I'm sure there are parts that don't feel up to the task of the whole some days. Rest if you must. Then, like the swimmer lying on her back who floats, or the hawk carried on cushions of air, rest in pews made to hold weary lives in space carved out for the doing of nothing much but being. Perhaps then you will feel in your bones, in your weary heart, the aching, healing sense that this is enough, even this, that we are enough. You are enough. Enough. For these and all the meditations of our hearts unspoken in this hour, we say, Amen. Now is our time for all ages, and Bonnie is going to come down and read you all a story, and you can listen in as well, all ages.
Yeah. Hi. This is Alexander and the terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. At breakfast, no. I went to sleep with gum in my mouth, and now there's gum in my hair. And when I got out of bed this morning, I tripped on the skateboard, and by mistake, I dropped my sweater in the sink while the water was running, and I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. At breakfast, Anthony found a Corvette Stingray car in his breakfast cereal, and Nick found a junior undercover agent code ring in his breakfast cereal box, but in my cereal box, all I found was breakfast cereal. I think I'll move to Australia. In the carpool, Ms. Gibson let Becky have a seat by the window. Audrey and Elliot got seats by the window too. I said I was scrunched. I said I was being smushed. I said if I don't get a seat by the window, I'm gonna be car sick. No one even answered. I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. At school, Ms. Dickens liked Paul's picture of the sailboat better than my picture of the invisible castle. At singing time, she said I sang too loud, and at counting time, she said I left 16 out. Who needs 16? I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, and very bad day. I could tell because Paul said I wasn't his best friend anymore. He said that Philip Parker was his best friend and that Albert Moyer was his next best friend and that I was only his third best friend. I hope you sit on a tack, I said to Paul. I hope the next time you get a double-decker strawberry ice cream cone at the ice cream parlor, it falls off the cone part and lands in Australia. There were 2 cupcakes in Philip Parker's lunch bag, and Albert got a Hershey bar with almonds, and Paul's mother gave him a piece of jelly roll that had little coconut sprinkles on the top. Guess whose mother forgot to put a dessert in? It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. That's what it was because after school my mom took us all to the dentist, and Dr. Fields found a cavity just in me. Come back next week and I'll fix it, said Dr. Fields. Next week, I said, I'm going to Australia. On the way downstairs, the elevator door closed on my foot, and while we were waiting for my mom to go get to the car, Anthony made me fall where it was muddy, and then when I started crying because of the mud, Nick says I was a crybaby. And while I was punching Nick for saying crybaby, my mom came back to the car and scolded me for being muddy and fighting. I am having a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. I told everybody. No one even answered. So then we went to the shoe store to buy some sneakers. Anthony chose white ones with blue stripes. Nick chose red ones with red stripes. I chose blue ones with red stripes, but then the shoe man said, we're all sold out, and then they made me buy plain, old, white ones. But they can't make me wear them. When we picked up my dad at his office, he said I couldn't play with his copy machine, but I forgot. He also said to watch out for the books on his desk, and I was careful as I could be except for my elbow. He also said, don't fool around with the phone. But I think I just called Australia. My dad said, please don't pick him up anymore. It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Then there were lima beans for dinner, and I hate lima beans. There was kissing on TV, and I hate kissing. My bath was just too hot. I got soap in my eyes, my marbles went down the drain, and I had to wear my railroad train pajamas. I hate my railroad train pajamas. When I went to bed, Nick took back the pillow. He said I could keep the Mickey Mouse nightlight burned out, and I bit my tongue. The cat wants to sleep with Anthony, not me. Hello! It has been a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. My mom says some days are just like that, even in Australia.
Now is the time when we take a collection for the ongoing support of this meeting house and our shared ministry. As we enjoy a musical reflection by our choir, we welcome your donations here in the sanctuary or online through PayPal or Venmo. You can find that information on our website, uumh.org. At this point, I invite 3 volunteer ushers forward to take up our collection. On and off-site, your offerings will be gratefully received.
Sing right with me, because I'm going to sing too. I'm going to sing too. You should stand right there. You want to sing too? Oh, you're good. Yay! You ready? You ready? We are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know within, and we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know within. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. We are going. Heaven knows where we are going, but we know within, and we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Oh yeah, yeah. 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 Oh
Thank you. In his book, The Blessings of Imperfection, Peter Fleck wrote, "The first amphibian that crawled out of the water onto the land may not have done so because its feet were so strong, but because its gills were so weak. The imperfection of its gills made that first amphibian into an animal of a higher order." But one can imagine, Peter says, its parents' distress at having a child that was so conspicuously unable to live a normal aquatic life, a child with which there was obviously something wrong. And one can imagine how it was jeered at by its peers. Nor did that first amphibian have any idea of what was happening to it. It had no idea that its wrongness had led it into a betterness. We all have those days like Alexander, don't we? Those terrible, horrible, no good, very bad days. And it's not until later that we see how they fit into life. How sometimes the things that go wrong lead us to something better. Not always, but sometimes. And it's not until later that we see that all of the things that have gone wrong for us make us who we are, even the ones that didn't lead to something better. And it's not until later, if ever, that we learn to like ourselves as we are. Maybe we're not there yet. Maybe that comes later still. For now, we are amphibians with weak gills, finding our place on land. I often start my day with a meditation on the Insight Timer app on my phone. There's a 10-minute meditation that I turn to again and again by an Australian woman named Claire Hill. And I think half the reason that I like it so much is because of her accent. Everything sounds better with an Australian accent. I think I'll move to Australia. Especially after this week's election. She starts by asking us, and I'm not going to try the accent. No. She starts by asking us to think about how we'd like to design our day. And she makes the bold assertion that to some extent we get to choose how we feel. And I don't know how true that is, but it's worth thinking about. She says, how do you want to feel, be, give, and receive? What is your intention for the day today? And just when you start thinking, I can't do this, this is too much. My intention for the day is to not listen to this lady from down under. She reads your mind. Acknowledge the thoughts that come into your head and just let them pass by. If they are negative, how did she know? Just acknowledge it and replace it with a positive thought. But then she gets to the part I love, the part I really listen for, the affirmations. She says repeating the affirmations will raise our vibrations. And I don't know how I feel about that either. But I know that they make me feel good, which might, I suppose, have something to do with vibrations. Repeat these phrases, she says. I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. I am loved. I am loved. I am loved. I am beautiful. I am beautiful. I am beautiful. You are already all of those things, she tells us. You are just reminding your soul that you are already enough, that you are already loved, that you are already beautiful. If I could, I would send this Australian woman to each of your houses to sit at the end of your bed every morning and tell you these things. You are enough. You are loved. You are beautiful. Your wrongness has led you into a betterness. I know these things about you already. I just feel like some of you might need the Australian woman to remind your soul about them. Because don't we all? Even the most accomplished, beautiful, talented people in the world struggle with knowing and believing that they are enough. There was a period when country music star Naomi Judd didn't get out of her pajamas or leave the house for 3 weeks at a time. Did you know that? Or that Buzz Aldrin, who walked on the moon, came home and got divorced, suffered with alcoholism. That Jane Fonda has hated her body her whole life. Thomas Edison, decades before he invented the light bulb, was told by a teacher that he was too stupid to learn anything, so he didn't feel great about himself. Stephen King's first book, Carrie, was rejected 30 times until he threw it out. His wife had to rescue it from the trash. Serena Williams, probably the best tennis player in the world, was nearly destroyed by her envy of her sister, Venus. John Steinbeck wrote in his journal in 1938, "I'm not a writer. I've been fooling myself and other people." Leonardo da Vinci was paralyzed by procrastination. Many of his projects he never finished. In his diary, he wrote, "Tell me if I ever did a thing." J.K. Rowling, who wrote Harry Potter, based her soul-sucking creatures known as Dementors on her own dark moods and despair. And during Fred Astaire's first screen test with MGM, the notes they gave him said, "Can't act, can't sing, slightly bald, can dance a little." If these people didn't feel that they were enough, if the world didn't always recognize that they were enough, what chance do we have? You cannot see the big picture on the bad day. You cannot see how your wrongness could lead to betterness. You cannot see that even if it doesn't, you are enough. But that's the task, isn't it? Taking all of the pieces of ourselves, the parts we love, the parts we hate, the unfinished parts, the parts we don't quite understand, all we've experienced, all we hope for. Taking all of those pieces and integrating them into our sense of self. Our evolving self. That's the task, isn't it? Integrating all of those pieces so that even on our worst days, we have compassion for the person that we are, even as we hope we are growing into someone better. That's the task, isn't it? Learning to breathe on land. James Cruz wrote a poem called "Love the Mud." I'm on a James Cruz kick. Last week I shared stories from his book about how kindness can save the world. Here's his poem, Love the Mud. I don't want to read another book or listen to another podcast promising a better life, the road to happiness. I just want to love my life as it is. The cobwebbed corners and rumpled bed, my sweaty yoga mat still unrolled across the floor, the color rubbed off where I rest my head each morning. Let me love the orderly and the messy. My unwashed and salt-stained car, the cracked planter left out in the cold, the regret that still fills me years after my mother's passing because I wasn't there at her bedside when she died, because I didn't do more to save her. Let me be like the butterflies sipping from mud, dung, and carrion, drawing nutrients from actual blood, sweat, and tears, a different kind of nectar. Let me stay in love with my sorrow today, with anger and fatigue, and every fruit fly rising up from the sweet and rotting compost I forgot to take out. You know, if we wait until we become perfect, we're never going to love ourselves. We're never going to love our life. But can we learn to love our life as it is? Because we don't get over the past, we integrate it. We don't fix everything that goes wrong, we incorporate it into our story. We don't believe that everything happens for a reason, but we can make meaning out of the things that happen to us, even the hard things. We can learn to love the mud. My colleague, Reverend Jane Malden, tells the story of her graduation from seminary. Her mother flew in from out of state to cheer her on. They had both worked so hard, sacrificed so much to get to that moment. As the time of the ceremony neared, her mother proudly unpacked Jane's doctoral robe from the box and volunteered to iron out the wrinkles. As her mother worked at the project in the next room, Jane heard a scream of terror, and her mother ran into the room sobbing, clutching the robe. "I'm so sorry, Jane. I've ruined it. I've ruined it." Sure enough, the first doctoral robe ever to be worn by a member of her family had a large hole, clearly the shape of a travel iron, in the underside of one sleeve. There was nothing to be done. The ceremony was in just a few minutes. They grabbed their things and dashed to the church. Jane took her place in the procession. Colleagues whispered to her in concern. She showed them the branded sleeve. "Oh, that's too bad," said a classmate. "Cost a lot to get that sleeve replaced," said another. Then her friend Patricia chimed in. "Well, I think it's dear. Every time you wear your robe, you'll have the memory of your mother with you." And so it was. Jane let go of her attachment to having a perfect robe, and now every time she wears hers, she feels connected to her mother. With it, she carries all the strength and the pain that she has felt in her family. "It reminds me that most of us are walking wounded," she says, "and although the wounds don't always show, they help make us who we are and help prepare us for the joys and trials of life. The octogenarian playwright Florida Scott Maxwell once wrote, "You need only claim the events of your life to make yourself yours. When you truly possess all you have been and done, which may take some time, you are fierce with reality. You need only claim the events of your life to make yourself yours. When you truly possess all you have been and done, you are fierce with reality." And I just know that she didn't mean to possess all we have been and done by inhabiting our mistakes and regrets and embarrassments forever. I just know that what she meant is that we accept them and then move on to living, on to growing, on to evolving. But it's hard. Buddhist teacher Tara Brach tells the story of Mohini, a regal white tiger who lived for many years in the Washington, D.C. National Zoo. For most of those years, her home was in the old lion house, a typical 12 by 12-foot cage with iron bars and a cement floor. Mohini spent her days pacing restlessly back and forth in her cramped quarters. Eventually, biologists and staff worked together to create a natural habitat for her. Covering several acres, it had hills and trees, a pond, lots of vegetation. With excitement and anticipation, they released Mohini into her new and expansive environment. But the tiger immediately sought refuge in a corner of the compound, where she lived for the remainder of her life. Mohini paced and paced in that corner until an area 12 by 12 was worn bare of grass. Perhaps the biggest tragedy in our lives, Tara Brach says, is that freedom is possible, yet we can pass our years trapped in the same old patterns. Entangled in the trance of unworthiness, we grow accustomed to caging ourselves in with self-judgment and anxiety, with restlessness and dissatisfaction. Each day we listen to the inner voices that keep our life small. The way out of our cage, she says, begins with accepting absolutely everything about ourselves and our lives. I do not mean that we are putting up with harmful behavior, she clarifies, our own or another's. I mean feeling sorrow and pain without resisting. I mean feeling desire or dislike for someone or something without judging ourselves for the feeling or being driven to act on it. Clearly recognizing what is happening inside of us and regarding what we see with an open, kind, and loving heart. Radical acceptance. You need only to claim the events of your life to make yourself yours. When you truly possess all you have been and done, which may take some time, you are fierce with reality. We are none of us perfect. Our lives are not perfect. But let me remind you, you can do hard things. You already have. And you are enough and you are loved, and you are beautiful. Amen, and blessed be. Please join me in singing our closing hymn. It's number 1015 in the Teal hymnals, I Know I Can. That's number 1015, I Know I Can. Please rise as you are able. You may be seated.
It has become our practice to pose a question based on the theme of the service each week. It can be a topic of sharing at coffee hour today or with friends during the week. If you'd like to delve deeper into the topic, we invite you to our midweek coffee hour on Zoom Tuesdays at 5 p.m. If you are not on our email folk list and need that Zoom link, please contact Kenneth in the office. Our question this week is, if you had an Australian lady sitting at the end of your bed reciting a mantra to you, what would you want it to be? In other words, what would you want your morning mantra to be? Thank you.
So much undone, so much to do, so much to heal in us and the world. But just for today, may we feel in our bones, in our weary hearts, the aching, healing sense that this is enough, even this, that we are enough. You are enough. Enough. Go in peace.